start.
I thought you started. I was like, for you to do it.
I've been having so much fun with Tasting Room Conversations. We've had so many great people on, and the conversations have been just fantastic. I'm going to put together a little compilation here for you of some of the last few weeks and the cool things that we've been talking about. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers. Oftentimes, when you get Bangor North, there's a big misconception on what the world's like up there. And I want to get it out there that it's not this backwoods backwater. You've got,
but if you want that, that's available too.
And that's it. You've got all of that recreational opportunity. You've got all of those places you can go and not be in the hustle and bustle. But all of the stuff that you would need to do anything that you would ever want to do.
Yeah, like you can buy balsamic glaze. You know what I mean? Like fancier, like things like if you want arugula, we have that. We have cheese. We have all the fancy stuff that you would want, like in a city. We have that.
You've got it. You've got it. And comedy shows and harvest dinners and maybe some ice fishing tournaments.
Yes, we're hoping ice fishing.
We're gonna get
that would
Whitney's
be
involved,
great.
maybe.
My guys there. Your kids can ride their bikes to school.
It's such a great spot.
Sort of
it's such a great spot, and
timeless place.
To be able to overcome adversity and look at what is next for Lincoln, I think is a great story to look at, a great case study for so many parts of our state, because I really feel like we're at the cusp of something in Maine where there's going to be a new economy. It's going to look different. It's going to feel different, but it's going to be based in the roots that have always been here.
Right.
And that's what Lincoln's done.
We have
You've done it too. I mean, to toot your horn or whatever. Like, I would say that the craft beer industry in other parts of the country, it's kind of come and gone or whatever, but Maine is like nailing it down.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so many like strong, and you are the prime example of like how to do it like efficiently, how to grow at a great pace, and really like
I do want to
done
give
an awesome job.
I do want to give a shout out to the woods businesses that we have in Lincoln. I want to give a shout out to those wood businesses that are still there, the big ones like Tree Line.
That's where my dad works.
Crawford's, Gardeners, all of these people that, you know, they are very supportive of the fact that they know that their wood business is changing, and they're right there working to help it change and see it go into a different chapter.
And that's the thing, that stuff isn't going away.
It's changing.
It's changing.
And there's new that's coming in to sit in harmony with
and
it.
these businesses,
like cross-laminated
not
timber,
just them, but all the businesses in Lincoln support that idea tremendously. I mean, half the time we couldn't put on the events we do if we didn't have the help of the sponsorship of the local businesses.
Oh, we had no idea that was the first beer we ever made. After that, when I actually started to take it seriously, I got into all grain, and I had some mishaps, but nothing quite as exciting as that. Yeah. So when you guys first made a beer, I mean, you've all made beers, you've all brewed.
I mean, I'm just gonna say I've only homebrewed a couple times before I was here because honestly now it's like I work a full day in a brewery. I don't really want to go home.
People say that. People say that. They're like, "Oh, what are you homebrewing?"
Yeah. But when I was,
not what I want to do. Nothing.
I don't know. My first one was a kit from the farmhouse.
Nice.
Farmhouse, and I'm pretty sure it was malt extract, but it was a old meal stout, and it actually came out really well. I mean, I'm sure looking back, it had problems, probably fermentation temperature problems. You know, it was in a carboy in a closet, but it was
there's only so much you can do in a carboy in a closet.
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought it came out pretty well.
Yeah. It was good. Nice.
Yeah, my first one was college apartment with the roommates.
All right.
So we thought it'd be real fun to do. I think we went to the farmhouse as well. And had an extract pale ale kit, and we thought it was the coolest thing. But it was a hot mess looking back at it. And drinking it, I mean, we thought it was good, but it was probably horrible. But it was so much fun. The smell of it in the apartment.
Yeah.
After that, I did did some more research, and we went all green.
Yeah.
Learned some things.
Yeah, you go all grain pretty quick.
I went all grain after that first absolute
That's it,
trash
yeah.
experience in college. Although, I mean, the beer, we drank it.
Yeah, we did. We drank it too.
I think there's alcohol.
I'm still here. Oh,
Yeah,
there was.
But-
We drank it once I was 21.
Yeah.
We held on to it.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Gagan's does not endorse this.
Been with the Dramatic Academy program as a teacher, as a director for those 13 years.
Yeah.
And so this year, the director of education job came open, and it just seemed like the next natural step for me. I'm like, I'm not leaving this company anytime soon,
Right.
obviously. But it's been a great fit. I'm really enjoying it, and I love our program. I love our kids. But what blows me away is that I can do this in Bangor, and I don't think I could have done this in the same way in Boston or New York, or it's a grind. And I know friends that have done it and are successful and are working and are on Broadway and that kind of thing, but it still seems like a grind to me. And I'm here in the place that I love.
Yeah.
With my family in my back pocket.
Right.
And still doing what I love, and I'm able to not only like fulfill my own needs as an artist, like getting on stage as an actor, because that's, you know, obviously something that's I love.
Yeah.
But I'm able to do that, but I'm also able to enrich, I don't know, the fabric of our artistic community through what we do at PTC with the kids, as in, like, you know, it's really awesome for me to see kids that I've worked with for years graduate and go on to really awesome, prestigious acting programs or get on our main stage.
Yeah.
There are a handful of teenagers in Mamma Mia right now, and they're doing their first professional gig outside of our program. And they all just started in Les Mis last year, and they're incredible kids. And I'm like, I don't know, what more can you want?
Well, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
really, how it doesn't get much more satisfying. So I feel really lucky.
And to be implanted in a community that's still a true community.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. Like, even just the downtown portion of it.
Yeah.
If I just think about how comfortable it feels to be downtown every day and work downtown, just
Yeah.
from going into like Fork and Spoon and getting coffee, or
Yeah.
from, you know, like chatting with Summer, who owns Valentine's Shoes
Yeah.
next to us. You know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it is like a little family.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Entirely. And it's changing and growing and developing in some really awesome ways, I
Yeah.
think. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, Penobscot Theater has been a thing for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's 45 years old.
Yeah. But you look at it over the last decade or two, and
Yes.
it has developed.
We had two artistic directors in a row. I feel like Scott Levy, who was Barry Newport's predecessor, he was really committed to engaging the community of Bangor to think of Penobscot Theater as their place,
Yeah.
as a destination place for them, and not just something, because it feels like, you know, we hear professional theater company and it seems like it's not accessible to everybody,
Right.
right? That word for some reason is like, oh, well, it's fancy, or it's this or it's that.
Yeah.
And it's well done. It's super, super well done.
Yeah.
Our shows are beautiful to look at, but it's not accessible to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely for every person in
Right.
Bangor, you
Yeah.
know, and the surrounding communities. And Barry has done the same thing.
And it's so
So this is the issue that touches on every other issue. Because if you ask that question to 100 people out there, you're going to get probably 100 different responses. Because you could easily say the challenges are opioid use, or housing, or grinding poverty in general, homelessness. Yes, absolutely. Places that have the strongest social service networks are the places with the strongest economies. If you look at some of these Scandinavian countries, for example, that have these really strong social safety nets, they also have very robust growing economies. Even like San Francisco, Seattle, these communities that are sort of the darlings of economic growth, but also progressive policy to take care of people, they can do that because they have a strong economy.
Yeah.
When the economy is strong, when there's a lot of money flowing through and having a multiplier effect, that's what pays for services. You cannot pay for the services without these strong
100%, and that's what makes it possible to actually dive into these bigger issues with the perspective and the means to address them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think you're spot on, and I think the opioid epidemic is certainly something that is a critical issue, but you're right as well that the stronger we make our community, the stronger we're going to be in giving opportunities to help people out of that situation. And it's not a throw money at it type of situation. It's that one's one with a lot of understanding that's needed and a lot of growth that's needed. But again, you need to have that foundation to address it and have something that people are looking forward to. No, it's a really, really interesting perspective, and I hope we can continue to grow in that.
It was, I mean, Maine, we've had these conversations, like, Maine's a really special place, and we very easily could have, he's had lots of opportunities to either transfer to active duty bases, and the world's a big place. There's lots of beauty out there, and I've had opportunities. I mean,
you're doing a lot of great things here, but it's not because you're stuck here.
No, I had a full-time opportunity to move to Manhattan. And Jason wouldn't have had to work. You know, like, he was all for that. But we have 2 kids. You know, and I had an amazing childhood growing up here. And when you think about the opportunities that are here, and I mean, all the stuff that we just talked about, the way that Mainers are really, you know, ingenuitive and creative and passionate, and like, they're genuine people. You don't walk down the street. Half the reason I think I like Manhattan, I walk down the street and no one says anything to me. But it's only because I have my work hat on so much home, and so I'm constantly interacting with people. But it's nice when you're here and you go away and you come back, you appreciate it more. You can walk down the street here and everybody says hi, even if they don't know you. You don't get that everywhere else. You know? So it's nice, and it doesn't smell like trash, which is a bonus. You know? And Jay and I
so many cool places and things and stuff.
I've never lived more than an hour from the ocean.
Mountains
and stuff that you literally take for granted when you start to look at other places. Where could I live and what could I do? And when we did the Willy Wags, we talked about, you know, even outside of Bangor, what other towns could this be more successful in? And there was a fair amount of them. Like, let's be honest, there's more foot traffic in some other, you know, towns and downtowns and just in Maine.
I definitely. But you get into southern Maine and there's so many more people. There's more foot traffic, and it takes a lot less effort, obviously, because foot traffic is there to really get stuff off the ground. But I was born and raised in Bangor, you know, and there can either be the stigma that you were born and raised and you shouldn't, you know, move back home and do this, or you flip up your middle fingers and you say, watch me, I'm going to put my flag in the ground, and I'm going to make it a little bit better than when I left. And
I
think
and that's where I learned downtown.
I think defining what is success to you is such an important step in that process of what does success look like, you know, and for a lot of people, and this isn't wrong, a bigwig job in Manhattan is what success looks like. And that's cool. That's cool. The world needs a lot of those people. A lot of those people need to exist. But for me, and from this conversation, it seems for you, we've had those opportunities and said, you know what? They feel really good for my ego. I'm really proud of myself. Those opportunities being there really have helped me be very comfortable saying no to them and saying, you know what? Screw you. I'm
good.
And I'll say this, I'm a Bangor boy, all right? I'm not. We've been through this before. We've been through this before. But I think to ask that question of could you have seen it be here, I can tell for sure. I can answer that for you because in 2011 when we started brewing beer, we didn't see that going to here necessarily. In 1975, you couldn't have even fathomed the technological advances.
Or even think of it this way, when it wasn't until 1985 that we built what is known as the Shamrock Room.
Right.
That we built the first addition onto the kitchen.
Yeah.
That we put a deck on. Those things weren't there.
Right.
And the seating, we added seating that in 1985 also into the dining room.
Yep.
The bar pretty much has stayed the same configuration, but just all these things. And let alone, we didn't do to-go.
Right.
We had one phone in the building.
Right.
We had a cigarette machine in the hallway. We
Yeah.
had, all these things that, some of it was like, all right, well, that makes sense, it changes, but a lot of it just moved at lightning speed, and really in the last 10 years, 8 to 10 years has been tremendous change, like you can't do it.
I hope you enjoyed. It was a lot of fun putting this together, and I'm looking forward to so many more really cool conversations. Keep tuning in, and we really, really appreciate the support. Cheers.